Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good week in the stock market. Friday, September 24th, we're going to talk about the SPY, some technical analysis, some GameStop, the short squeeze, and option plays. What I'm setting up for next week. This crash, I believe we're just at the very beginning of. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money sticks around. We have a Twitter you can follow us on at Happy Money YT. Here on the Tweetville. We also have a Discord. I share my trades, other people share theirs. Jump on there if you'd like. Michael Burry did tweet that he's been subpoenaed over her GME. So who got an SEC subpoena over GME? Actually, I know they're on my subpoena with all that's going on in the world. Yep, there it is. So that's pretty crazy. There is some stuff I want to go over on that's been shared on Reddit and some news. SPY's coming down here. SPY had a nice little consolidation day, a little melt up. Didn't fill in this gap today, and the chart's still bullish, so potentially early next week it'll fill this gap. Bullish on the hourly at least, but that could change pretty quick. That's a shorter term one. On the daily, to me it's still bearish, but maybe some more consolidating before it makes another leg down. So maybe fill this gap in, yeah, early next week, and then I think probably before the end of next week another bigger leg down. That might be too quick. Sometimes I'm too quick on the SPY. I think it's going to move so fast, but it moves slow. So you have this big move and it's like, oh, okay, it's going to just consolidate and then drop again, but then does like 4 days of rallying for consolidation. And then, oh, it's been rallying so quickly to the upside, now it has to consolidate flat. And then, yeah, it's like a move in a big ship. Like a huge ship. Takes time. GME, on the other hand, is not like a huge ship. It's like a tiny little speedboat, and it just rips around, spazzes around with zero volume, zero liquidity on this thing. Did come down today. I expect it to keep coming down next week, kind of regardless of the market. But I think when the market gets a big correction, this will come down pretty heavy as well. Still kind of putting this 165 support. I'd like to see what it does there. Given, I mean, the market correction, I don't know when GME will reverse and basically inverse the SPY, but with the market, I think it'll come down significantly. I don't know if it'll take months or a year. 2008, again, once we got to the top, it was a year before we really had a crash, but it was bearish for like, yeah, it was bearish for a year, but then it didn't really crash. They started being bearish, and a whole year later, right here's where we had the crash. So I think it'll be faster than that. I think it'll be more like .com bubble, where kind of started coming down and then it crashed. Even faster than that, honestly. I think it'll be probably October, but it'll probably keep coming down even after a crash. We'll see though. With GameStop, it's hard to know how far it's gonna get pulled down with the market, or how long that'll take before they have to start closing their short positions, because their long positions are doo-doo. So that's kind of the unknown for me, and I would just look, to me, I'm looking at, we've made higher lows on GameStop for almost a year now, and it's possible this final dip will be kind of like the Volkswagen dip, and that was also during a crash in 08, and so maybe a much lower support, like that 40 range. But I really don't know if it's going to go that low. We've seen the market come down a lot, and GME wasn't affected a whole lot, really. This huge down day here on SPY, which is huge for the SPY, was like 3%. Biggest down day we've had in almost a year on that. It brought GME down, I think, like 6%. Maybe a total of 10, but it closed at like 6. So you can even see it on the chart here. I mean, just relatively how much of a drop this is compared to, you can't even find it on here. It's just a normal day on the GME block. So SPY comes down at say 350, that might only bring GME down to 165, but the kind of exponential floor that we've been building higher lows on might be broken with a big crash. I'm not sure yet. That really just depends. I'm just looking at momentum. Momentum right now is to the downward side. After we see a big downward move, MACDs will come down, RSI will come down, and then we'll hopefully get a bounce, and then it'll kind of come back and get close to retesting it, and it'll consolidate, and then at some point momentum will switch and go crazy. However, since this is a kind of an unusual event, it's possible we won't see a normal TA from the drop to the bounce, where it happened back here. It totally threw stuff off, where we had this huge drop from earnings and then just a massive rally. MACD was still bearish, and so we saw that continuation of the bearishness over here, but this huge rally. So it's possible to do something like that and then kind of rallies out of the dip and then consolidates and flips the MACD and flips the momentum and then keeps going, or just maybe just goes crazy off of it. Actually, yeah, looking at the Volkswagen charts from the other video, 2 videos ago, it didn't it just was huge dip, and for us it'd be a dip down to well, yeah, there's different theories, but basically it'd be a huge dip, and then for Volkswagen it gapped up over the weekend. So maybe that's this weekend, I don't know. I don't feel like we've had a huge dip yet, but that doesn't mean we have to have a huge dip first. But yeah, it was over a weekend. It was on a Friday. Volkswagen for like 4 days came relatively to GME, it'd be from like 400 down to like 200. So for us it'd be like from here down to like 80 just for days and days and days and days. And then it was a Friday, and then weekend happened. Monday it had gapped up like pre-market or whatever. I don't know if it's pre-market, but that day it literally broke new way past all-time highs. And then the next day like doubled or tripled it. So when that happens, it's possible we won't have to see this kind of technical analysis of momentum kind of changing and shifting. It could throw all of that out. I think for now, though, we can look at TA and say it's bearish. It's going to keep coming down until it either starts to squeeze or it finds a floor, and see what happens with that. Action is moving with GME. I mean, Gensler with his report, now Michael Burry with his GME subpoena tweet. I mean, it's coming down. I wouldn't say it's going to be like a year from now. I think we're much closer than that. I'm still thinking within this year, before the year's over. We should have the squeeze at least beginning. Our plays today, market just closed. GME's down 3%. SPY's up just a little bit, 0.18. Here's the plays we did today. Everything got filled. Didn't get my Macy's play. That's okay. So sold to close. I don't even know what this stuff is. Oh yeah, so my Tesla. Remember I said, oh, Tesla, it was a risky play, and sure enough, it was risky. But I actually got out of it with like 30%. Look at this, it broke out. So it was either a triple top or consolidation to a breakout, and yep, we have our confirmation. It was a consolidation, which is this, to a breakout. Yeah, it wasn't a great setup for a play. I just felt like gambling a little bit, I guess, because it was bearish. But what happened is futures and the whole market was down in the morning because of China, I think. So this thing opened up down here, showed some strength, and I was like, man, it looks like I was up 20 or 30% here, and the RSI was so low that I was like, I gotta close this thing. This thing is gonna just rip because this is way overbought or oversold. And that times like this when I like the RSI, this is, to me, is an easy time to buy. If momentum's not crazy on the downside, like it's not going to sit around down here. So I closed it up like 20 or 30%, and then looked at like an hour later, and it was just rocketing. So I would have been down 500 on that play if I didn't close it. Said I think we made like 150 on that one, and then SPY play. So my SPY needed to close above 445 for max gain. Look where we hit 4467. It was down most of the day, down 30%, 40%, 50, even down 60% at one point, and then 5-minute chart, we got green over the 9, we've got a bullish MACD. I'm like, all right, we'll grind this thing out. This is at 230, so I was just sitting. This thing was barely outpacing the time decay. Like it would go negative 30%, negative 20%, negative 50%, and then this green candle went up to like negative 10%, and then negative 20%, even though it was going up just from time. And then right about here it was like plus 5%. I was able to get an order filled, and actually I top ticked the thing, so we made money on that one somehow too. Don't know how that worked out. And also the Tesla one. So both those weren't great plays, but made money on both somehow because of timing the exits. Tesla, on the other hand, man, that thing actually did have a breakout, so that might be a good long play, especially next week, early next week. If SPY does fill that gap, Tesla might kind of at this little resistance back here, though. We'll see. But it did break out from that kind of triple top rally thing it had going there. It's still not bullish on the MACD though. See, that was one of my big indicators on this one is bearish. So we'll see. This might just be kind of a false breakout, honestly, because I think next week, I don't know. Not a great setup for me either way. Stuff like that I just leave alone. Not everything is a great setup. You can't like find a stock at any point in time like, oh, I know it's going this way or that way or that way. No, it's not with TA. Yeah, it's like some stuff's like, oh, it's a very obvious setup. There's stuff it's like, no, there's nothing to play there. That being said, yeah, the SPY it's a pretty nice looking bull flag here. We are still bullish on the MACD. Kind of a little double top here. Not a great setup to go long, but you could kind of expect it to maybe fill in that gap or come up a little bit. If you zoom out, if you have a longer term play, I'd say it's still bearish though, because we broke this support, made new lows. Everything's bearish on the charts. Red under the 9 moving average, all that jazz. That's that play. GME, we rolled over our short put positions, so we sold puts on it, and was actually able to roll these down to 192.5. They were 195. Rolled them down to 192.5. Received a couple $100 credit, and now we have another week. I expect GME to be lower than that, so I'll probably have to keep rolling it, but no problem. It's done it all weird here. Oh, I also actually got a bearish play on GME because I'm expecting it to come down again. I got a 165, 175 put debit spread. Can I even show you this? It's so annoying. So the long side of the puts is up 24%. The short side is down 27%. Wait, is that right? Should be up on this play. Yeah. Oh yeah, because that one's cheaper. So this one we're up 100, and that one we're down 44. So you subtract that from that, and you've got up $60 in that play. This one, yeah. So that's a bearish play. I'll probably sell calls Friday on GameStop unless we have news. That's why I don't have covered calls for over the weekend, just in case something crazy happens. But yeah, on Monday it probably will. What else we set up? I averaged into my shot put. Should have sold when we were up almost 100%. Should just sold and got back in. Got to learn that with options more. Just selling that volatility and then just wait on the consolidation and then buy back in. And just once I sell out of a play, I kind of quit looking at it. So I don't know. Anyways, average down on that one. I think that'll still do well. Also average down on my UVXY calls for next week. These are 34 calls. Next Friday, they're down quite a bit. Closing SPY. Got some Riot plays for next week. That's a bearish cryptocurrency play. So I kind of did the double way here. It's not hedging it at all, but I got $24 puts, and those are for next Friday. And then I also have a call credit spread, so this will fund that. But basically, for the whole play to work for me, I need it to stay below that 28. Let's see, what is it? Need to stay below $28. Yeah, that's confusing. Is this right? Yeah. Yeah, and then if it has a lot of velocity, these puts will make more money. So that's that play. I think that's pretty much all the plays. Our account, of course, is down today because we've got all these GME shares down $6,000, 6,500. Here's that Tesla one I got out of. I don't think we made that much on it. And here's that SPY one somehow. Atter started coming up, rallying towards the close. We've got enough time on that one. We'll see. But yeah. That's that. And then on this other account, let's see, did it close it? It did. So this one we were selling, I sold the cover call, and this one made like $350 this week from a 205 call that we sold. There's not much premium in GME right now because we haven't had a crazy spike one way or the other. So selling premium still good, but yeah, once we have some volatility added in there, it will up those premiums, which brings you to a good point. Right now is a good time to buy premium if the IVs come down. Actually, yeah, let's look at this. Is this GME? Whoa, that is cheap. Okay, yeah, any kind of price action, I'm gonna go crazy. These are I mean, under 100% for what, 40? How many strikes is this? Yeah, it's 40 total, I think. That's crazy. Look at this. Wow. So this thing is, I mean, it's setting up. We've been hitting close to max pain. Today was a little lower, but they're trying to get that IV down, it seems like, which is good if you're doing options. Curious if we bounce off this 180 or if we come down now, it's going to be lower. This 165 is lower than that. So we might not make it all the way down to our 165. It might have a lot of support on this 180 moving average. One other thing was, let's see, this. Yes, this. So remember that cryptocurrency, capital X sell? That thing is rallying again. Went up 8,100% overnight. It's not one you can buy. Hedges are using it, I think, for, I don't know, liquidity or pumping, dumping. I don't know all their trickery, but yeah, that happened months ago, and maybe that's a sign that something's about to happen. I don't know. Crazy. Google survey results. Is this the one I wanted to show? Yeah. No, this isn't it. Where's the one I wanted to show? Well, this one is interesting though. So this is just normal Google survey results. So when you're on the internet, it says, you know, Google survey. It's not targeted to GameStop or Superstock. I mean, it's Google that does it, but people paid for this to happen. And basically the conclusion, the highest, even though it might be conservative, was 7.1 billion share float, which I was thinking around 5 billion. And before I even saw this, just because it's a nice round number and it seemed nice to say. Very conservatively though, which I actually don't even think this is right based on, if you read this DD, was 1.2 billion. But then this other thing, which I thought I shared, no, maybe someone else shared it in here, is very interesting. Is talking about it was just another Superstock thread saying it was taking 3 separate surveys. It was saying from the 3 separate, it was doing a survey on surveys. There were 3 different surveys trying to figure out the float size, and from those 3 totally isolated surveys, it was 5 billion, or maybe it was actually even 7. No, it was between 2 and 7, I think, which is crazy. So float is massive. That's what matters. I think even the computer share thing, I think we said it in the last video, that's it. Theoretically, we could have 250,000, 250,000 accounts on computer share that have bought GME or transferred GME shares to computer share. So even if the averages are pretty low, we're getting close to the float, even just with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good weekend. Chill out and enjoy it. GME is inevitable. Just have to wait. The stock market is the transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. Warren Buffett said it best. Peace out, guys.